Hey everyone, it's Krystallee here. Hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. So, I'm so sorry to hear that you've been cheated on. I'm very sorry. That breaks my heart. And maybe you've been cheated on multiple times. And you have decided to give this relationship another go, to stay together because you have been together for so long and you don't want to get a divorce. I get it. And good for you for making that choice, because either way, it's a hard decision and it's going to be hard. So you've chosen this decision to stay in the relationship, but you are feeling depressed. You don't like the way you look. You start criticizing yourself like something's wrong with you, which is why they went and cheated on you. And you feel like that there's something wrong with you. And even though you've given the relationship another chance, you don't feel connected to the person. You have this hesitancy to be intimate with them. And that makes sense. I can understand why. So let me break it down for you and give you 3 tips, 3 things that can help you overcome this challenge of feeling like you don't want to have sex with them, or feeling maybe even distant from them in this current state, and reignite your relationship so you can rebuild and restore. So you've done some therapy, you've gone to some therapy and gotten some help. Maybe you've joined some groups of other people on Facebook who have been going through the same thing. Maybe you've talked to a really close friend about what you've been going through, and you have not felt any better about the situation. You haven't been able to reconnect with your partner. It makes sense. Because although you forgave and you said you forgave, something within you is still holding on to the pain, the trust that was broken, and the commitment that you both would be with one another has been tarnished. So it makes sense why you're having difficulty reconnecting and feeling intimate with each other, because you are feeling depressed about the situation. You feel less than, and maybe something is wrong with you, which is why they went to cheat in the first place. Maybe you are arguing more than usual, sleeping in separate rooms. I mean, these are all signs of lack of intimacy, but also a lack of connection between 2 people. So when something like this type of trauma really affects the relationship, if you're the person that was cheated on, you want to do these 3 things for yourself, because you've made the decision to allow that person back into your life and to work on this relationship. So you need to start working on it for yourself, with yourself. So then you can come towards that person in a different way, in a different light, and be able to feel grounded and secure within yourself. So the first thing you want to do is work through the emotions that you've been going through, the depression. The depression really will keep you from connecting because you are depressing your emotions. And so when emotions are depressed, they don't flow. You can't create intimacy with your partner and be genuine with them when you aren't feeling the right emotions in the right time. And I'm not saying always having to be happy-go-lucky or always having to be cheerful and perky, but when you're depressed, most likely many people numb out their emotions. They don't want to feel, or they're in a constant state of sadness and anger, even a slight bit of anger, frustration, and they just don't feel worthy. They don't feel like they can move through this. They can move past this. So they stay in that emotional state. So the first thing is to work through that quiet, lingering depression. And the second thing you want to do is work on how you view that person, the actions that that person did, and how that still has created this distrust in you. Although you forgave, which good on you, and that's a big decision that you had to make, you have to now change the way you view that person, or else it'll always be in the back of your mind that this person could do it again, that what if they cheat on me? What if I do something and then they'll do that? And you start controlling the relationship and maybe even the person, and then you start getting paranoid or thinking maybe when they're going out, they're doing something else, or if they say they're going to meet up with some friends, they're meeting up with someone, and we start putting ourselves in a spiral of doubt. So you want to really work on how you see that person and creating trust for yourself. How do you trust this person? That's the second thing you want to do. And then third and final thing is that you want to look at how this has affected the way you see yourself. Because for sure, this has affected your self-confidence of how you see maybe the weight that you are, or the imperfections that you have. Maybe if you don't think you're good looking or you are good looking, and you start judging and criticizing yourself. And that starts to also take a toll on the way you show up in the relationship in creating intimacy. We want to be secure in ourselves, so we show up feeling confident in who we are, feeling good about being in our own skin, so then we can create a healthier environment within the relationship. But without doing these 3 steps and just forgiving and jumping back in and, having good days and good moments and bad moments isn't really going to change that subconscious notion that you have that eats away at you, that creates that paranoia, that creates that doubt. So we want to really make those shifts within our subconscious mind. And how we do that is closely magnifying and evaluating the thoughts that you have around this, the feelings that are associated with this, and how it has affected you, probably for quite some time. If this is a new thing that happened recently, the wound is probably freshly opened. But if this has been something that you've been sitting with and the wound has not healed over yet, it is not scarred, and it is still open, then we want to work at healing ourselves in this way so we can then come back to our relationship and build intimacy. And yes, that means discovering what intimacy looks like for you. What kinds of things do you enjoy? How could that partner meet your needs to make you feel connected to them? And then we learn to convey these messages to our partner and start rebuilding the dynamic between both of us. But it starts with you and how you've been affected by the person that cheated on you. Doesn't mean that they're a bad person. Maybe they just really made some poor choices. But if you've given that opportunity for them to enter back into the relationship because you want this to work and you're willing to do whatever hard things it would require to make it work, then this is a critical step for you in order to actually move forward in a healthy manner so you can rebuild the foundation of your relationship, of your marriage from the ground up, starting fresh on a new fresh slate with you And doing this healing work will certainly help you do that. So if this sounds like something that you would love to get help with, that you know that you just need a fresh start, you need to turn the page and start over, but it does require you to move through these 3 things to get to the other side so you can see your partner for who he or she is. So you can be in the arms of your partner and feel comfortable, feel confident, feel secure with them. And you can finally visualize and move forward with this relationship. Then get in touch with me. Let's talk about how this has affected you, what you want to do, and how you want to shift this in your life. And let's talk about how to get you there quickly and effectively without years of therapy by utilizing your God-given gift, your mind. I hope you're able to get some value out of that today. I'll see you soon.